You too. What's going on? We're finally back. Man, it's a little windy out here this morning, but dude, got a little windbreaker on. It feels phenomenal out here right now. How's everybody been? What have you guys been up to? Let me know. Chat it up down there in the comments for a little bit with you guys. I always love doing that, so let me know if you've been doing anything with your bikes, if you're planning on getting a bike still. Here in Oklahoma, we're still like not really in the fall. Like it's the highs on the days are like high 80s. Like it's still hot outside. It sucks. So we're probably just gonna have like zero fall weather like we have this morning and just go straight to winter, like straight to the 40-degree days where it's just miserable. I wish there wasn't a car in front of me. I love riding this road. This road's sick. I tried to go film, was it last weekend? Maybe the weekend before last? I don't even know, dude. I think it was last weekend. And I'll insert the clip. What?
Looking for a little black piece?
I think I found it all.
Okay.
I think I'm good. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Good luck, buddy. Have a good day.
You too, man. Appreciate it. So, yeah, that happened. My entire mount broke. I think I took a video of it. I'm sure I did. But my entire mount broke for the DJI. Just broke off my helmet. I was literally just trying to lift my visor up at a stoplight. And I guess I just so hardly nicked my camera. And that just blew apart. I don't even know what's up with that, but that was kind of wild. Thankfully the DJI was just fine. You know, the lens, nothing, like no scratches, nothing. I had a number 32 ND filter on that day, and that fell off of my camera, and that shattered, which that's whatever. My mic adapter for the DJI, that fell off in the street, and that's the one thing I didn't get. As you can see, which I'm sure I put this in there too, a super kind older man pulled up on me and asking if I got everything pretty much, and I was like, yeah, I got everything, like, thanks man, appreciate you stopping. Turns out I didn't. Mic adapter is chilling in the road somewhere, so had to order a new one of those. It is what it is. And yeah, now we're back. Thankfully, I bought like a pack of 3 or 5 of the mounts I use for the DJI, so I had some of those on hand, thankfully. Also, trying out no stabilization today, so let me know how that is. I'm pretty positive, well, not pretty positive, I'm 100% positive. Oh yeah, feet over. It's like a wider angle, so let me know what you guys think. It should look better. Shout out the old lot, man. If you guys have been around since those days, you're a freaking real one. That's where we almost learned Ballast Point, boys. Old covered lot. And then we quit. We got some good memories up in there. Like I said, if you've been around since then, you already know. There's some good videos back in there. Man, it's just been a weird week with all that happening, and like I had a whole video planned, and honestly I don't even know what I was gonna film, but I had a video planned and clearly that fell through. I do have a little topic today involving riding in a hole. You know, I'm not gonna make like a whole 3 things you need to know, 5 things you need to know. I'm just gonna ramble for a little bit, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get type of thing. You know what I'm saying? First off, let me start out by saying I'm not trying to steer anybody away from this, but I do want people to understand, like, how do I say this? I guess the severity of like their own actions, because it's a big deal on a motorcycle. You know, one wrong move, one lean too hard into a turn, like, could be your last time. if not like end up very hurt. So just keep that in mind. Like, I'm just being honest because this is real life, you know. So there's quite a few things I've picked up on after riding all these years, 4.5, 5 years, something like that now, going on 5, I think. And there's a lot of things I've learned not to do. So, you know, just take that with a grain of salt. Don't get me wrong, I'm not any professional crazy rider by any means at all. I'm not claiming to be, but I feel like I've ridden long enough now and seen enough and done enough. I can talk on a little more, so that's what we're gonna do. There's so many things going through your head when you're out riding these things, and you know, if you're not fully dialed in and focused, you may get got. I'm gonna start off by saying, if you've been, you know, on the fence about buying a motorcycle, or if you shouldn't, one thing I will say is make sure this is something you genuinely want to do. And you know, if you're out here for clicks and likes on the internet, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Not to say that those people aren't out there, because they 100% are, but most of the time, I know how it goes. They buy a motorcycle, they buy a GoPro, DJI, whatever, throw it on their helmet, and then they go out there and record themselves acting a fool. If you've never ridden a motorcycle and you go out and buy a 600, whatever it may be, and you think you can just go rip down the highway, God, that bug was huge. You think you can just go rip down the highway and post it on the internet and get famous. It doesn't work that way. And don't get me wrong, it's happened, but for how long can you do that until something goes wrong? And if you genuinely want a motorcycle and you want to have fun on a motorcycle without wadding yourself up around a pole at 150, buy a Supermoto, buy a Grom, buy an FZ MT. Like, there's, I don't know, not to say like there's people out there who have self-control and can go and get on a 600 and turn out just fine, because you guys are out there for sure. But I just know how it is nowadays with people buying motorcycles, and especially first bikes. You guys are just, you're not in it for the right reasons. And it's scary, dude. It's honestly scary. See, like this here, you gotta be looking. You can't trust anybody out here. It's insane. Like, thinking about it and doing it, like, it's just so second nature to me now. But like, thinking about it, like, yeah, you literally, everybody's an op out here. It's insane to think about, but it's the truth. Like, you can't trust a soul out here. You just never know, dude. It really just do be like that. Yeah, I would say number 2 has to be, in my opinion, this is how I would do it again. You know, I wouldn't really change a thing of how I got into riding. Don't go out and spend like 10 grand on a motorcycle for your first bike, especially a used bike. Go out there, buy a budget-friendly motorcycle, whatever it may be. I'm not saying go and buy a clapper, but go and buy a used motorcycle for, you know, a good price. Don't overpay. Don't pay a ridiculous amount on it. And start there. If you enjoy it and, you know, you have a bike in mind that you want to get, you know, work your way up to that, and you know, do that if that's something that you want to do still, because I've seen it happen so many times. You know, people get into riding, they end up not even liking it, and then they're stuck with a bike that they're not going to be able to make any sort of profit on because they bought a used motorcycle. And you know, if you really are, you know, wondering if you're even going to like riding, don't go out and spend a crap ton of money on a bike, because you may end up hating it. And, you know, you can at least make close to what you paid for the thing, if not, you know, break even, maybe a little ahead of what you paid for it if you go and buy a used bike. So just keep that in mind. Like, that's something I always think about. I've seen people, you know, get into riding, and you know, they've lost some friends from riding, and obviously they have a different taste about riding, so they kind of get out of it. Just something to think about. Don't go and pay 10 grand for 20 grand for a freaking Ducati for your first motorcycle, and then you're out all kinds of money because you have a bike loan you have to pay off, you have a lien on it. Me personally, this is just me, everybody's different, and there's nothing wrong with this, but me personally, I will never ever ever take out a freaking loan for a motorcycle. If I can't pay cash for the thing, I don't need it. Dude, I haven't been out this way in a long time, guys. I'm talking like since I had the Grom. We just don't take this thing into this side of the town, like, ever. I'm gonna switch it up today. And number 3, I would have to say, do your research, you know, whatever you're looking at bike-wise, do your research, because it pays its dues for sure. Like, whenever I bought this Supermoto, obviously it's a DRZ, right? It's been the exact same motorcycle since I think like 2001 or something like that. They literally have not changed a thing until this year, the new gens that are fuel injected. There's certain things on certain years sometimes, like you have to look out for certain stuff, so do your research, and don't buy the worst gen motorcycle when you can just look it up and figure out there that, hey, I need to shy away from this year or this gen, whatever, and save yourself the trouble and the headache of buying a clapper that breaks down on you. You don't want that either. I don't like coming out this far by myself because, number one, like I said earlier in this video, people are freaking nut jobs. Number two, like, I just normally don't really care to come out this far. I don't know. Today I just kind of started riding, and you know, here we are, mobbing. Number 4, that kind of relays itself into this, talking about that. This isn't necessarily, I mean, it's bike related, but it's not. And some people may have different opinions on this, but honestly, I think this is a pretty big deal. Be sure, like, people know where you're at and, like, have a way to get a hold of you, or vice versa. You know, me personally, I share a location with a handful of people who, at all times pretty much, unless my phone's dead, which is so rare, especially when I'm riding, who know where I'm at, like, they have my location. So, you know, have some select people in your life, whether it's family, friends, whatever, who can, like, keep tabs on you, dude, because especially, like, a day like today where I'm just out, you know, a 40-minute bike ride home by myself, like, I don't know, dude, the thought of that scared me. Just nobody even having a clue where I'm at. So, you know, have a way people can keep some tabs on you, whether you like it or not. People care about you, all right, and they want to see you make it home. And you know, that's a big fear of mine, obviously, but that's something that I don't think about when I'm riding. Like, you can't put those thoughts in your head when you're riding, for sure. Like, there's nothing wrong with every now and then something creeps in the back of your head, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but I truly try my best not to put that kind of stuff in my head when I'm riding. I'm big on, you know, saying a prayer before I go ride, you know, Father God, just keep me safe, you know, let me make it home to my family. A very, very firm believer in all of that. Definitely makes you feel a whole lot better when you do go ride as well. If you ever wonder what it's like motovlogging, this is a valid, very well put description of it. Yeah. I guess if you're debating on riding or not, and you feel pretty good about it, you know, you have some money saved up or whatever, you got approved for a loan, whatever it may be, just always, like, tell your people you love them, you know? That sounds very, very cliche and, like, just out of a movie type stuff, but I'm telling you, dude, you know, since I've been riding, unfortunately, you know, I've seen, not personally seen, but, you know, in our community here, like, there's been a lot of death, and, you know, I've known a handful of them, not a crazy amount of them, because, I mean, you guys see how often I get out and ride with a group. Like, I don't do it that often anymore. And one thing about motorcycle riding is, like, the group aspect of it, like, it's forever changing. Like, it's not a very stagnant type of group. And I'm sure, as all of you know who do ride, like, a vast majority of it is younger kids, and that's just kind of how it is. Like, you know, a lot of the quote-unquote new people are, most of the time, they're going to be, you know, younger kids, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, and that's kind of just how it is. And unfortunately, that's the ones who, you know, they're at that age, and we've all been there. You know, I wouldn't say they're reckless, but like I was saying earlier, like, they're after that adrenaline dump, and it'll get you in trouble, man. It really will. But yeah, you know, just tell your loved ones you love them, hug them, whatever it may be. You know, like I said, as cliche as it sounds, you truly don't know, and that's the thing about riding that I think keeps a lot of people coming back to it. You know, it's kind of like the unknown, you know, between, like, where you're actually going to go that day or what's going to happen. You know, you don't know. You really don't. I want people to enjoy riding. I really do. Like, I want nothing more than that. But I also want people to be safe in the midst of doing it. And you know, it's something you have to respect, and it's something that, yes, you can go out and you can have a ball doing 110%. But like I said, if you don't respect these machines, they will bite you in the butt so fast. So fast. You have to remember, dude, like, that thing in front of me weighs probably 4,000 something pounds, or close to it. This weighs 400 or something like that. I think it's 400 and some change, 300 and some change, I don't know. Doesn't make a difference. Regardless, the ratio there, that's gonna win every single time. So, like, just remember, it's quite literally, I know it sounds crazy, but it's you against the world out here. And you know, as long as you're being defensive and you're riding within your limits, you know, you're probably gonna be okay. But like I said, you have to do so. You can't get out here and ride with an ego on your head and you know, think that she's gonna see me right there, because they're not. I can assure you right now, they are not looking for you. And 9 times out of 10, they just straight up don't see you. Like, they're just not looking for a bike. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much about it. I just kind of want to come ramble about that. That's about all I got, I think. I think I'm gonna jam out on this ride home. And yeah, I'm sorry for being so inconsistent. I say this every video, but I am, I promise, I really am sorry. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below if you're new. If you just want to talk, you know, I'm always down to talk back and forth with you guys. I love that. And yeah, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I don't know if I've said that or not, but if you're new, do that, please. Thank you. Love you. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, you guys keep it real.